is part 2 of my tutorial. If you haven't finished the hat yet, please go to part 1. For part 2, I'm going to show you how to create these, the eye, ear, pupil. But first we're going to begin by adding this fun little accent. So the first thing that you want to do is find the center of your hat, okay, which is right here, dead center between these 6. And then you want to make sure that on each side, when it's folded in half, that you have the same number on both sides. So do that and I'll meet you back here. I mostly use Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and today I'm using a size 5mm crochet hook. You're welcome to use a size a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. It'll still turn out fine, but if you use a smaller hook, you'll end up with smaller embellishments. If you use a larger hook, they will be larger. So we're going to start by going up 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's where the ear is going to be. Pull it through, and we're just going to wrap around both of those, pull it through, and then pull nice and tight on this excess thread. Both of them. Okay, so after you secure the yarn there, we're going to chain 2. And this we're just going to work in at the end, so just leave it there. Wrap it around. We're going to do a half double crochet. So a half double crochet, and on this we're going to be working in these spaces and also in each of these double crochets. So we're going to be working kind of into both of those. So go down into that first little space there. Okay, so for a half double crochet, it starts out as a double crochet, but instead of pulling through only 2, we're going to pull through all 3 at once. There you go, and that just makes it a little bit shorter than the double crochet. So wrap it around. Now we're going to go through that cable there, all the way through 3. Wrap it around. Now we're going into that space, all the way through 3. All the way through. Just keep working your way up. There's no real like right or wrong way to do this. You just do it, and do what looks good to you. If you want to add a couple extra, go for it. If you personally want the look to be a little bit longer, then go ahead and do that double crochet in there. If you want it to be smaller, do a single crochet. Or leave it off entirely. It's my favorite part about adding all the accents, and I love seeing your pictures. Please send me your picture of your finished product, because even though it's the same pattern, they always look different, and I love that. I love seeing what you guys come up with. One of my favorites was someone who made a pink R2-D2. It was so cute. Alright, so we're still just working our way up there, getting to the top of this hat. And doing our best to just keep it in half. Just keep going up there. Okay, so yeah, check out my Facebook page or my Patreon page. The links for those are in the video description below. Send me pictures of your finished product, 'cause I love to see that. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, so now that we are getting up here towards the very top, I'll do one more here. Okay. So now we're in like where we had that first magic circle. So now we want to work it up to have a little bit of a poof there. So we're going to work our way into that right there. And we're doing now a double crochet. So 1 double crochet. Now in that exact same stitch, we're going to do another double crochet. And then in that same space, we're going to do a triple crochet. Triple crochet 1 and 2. So we've got 3 starting out on there. Go in, pull through 2, pull through 2 again, and then pull through 2. Got your triple. Okay, so now we want to do dead center, centered as we can. We're going to do a triple crochet in there. We're going to actually do 3 triple crochets in that little loop there. So pull through 2, and through 2. And again, this is another one. Okay, we're going through together again. If you want to do more, you could do a quadruple crochet. Okay, there's the, we're going to do a third one in there. Do it. Have fun with it. Alright, now the next stitch, we're going to work our way into the side over here. We're, sorry, we got to do a triple. There we go. Starting out with a triple. Pull through 2, through 2, through 2. Alright, and then we're going to do 2 more doubles. Okay, so now we got this fun little poof up there at the top. Okay, now we just continue with our half double crochet back down the rest of the hat. Kind of pull that first one tight. That'll help the top really poof up a bit. You can adjust this however you need to. Play around with that top however you think it looks best. Alright, so just keep working your way down. I'll meet you down at the bottom of the hat. Okay, we made it down. We're going to stop the same spot that we started, like around 4. We'll just slip stitch through, pull that through. There's my scissors. There they are. And then we will pull that into the inside of the hat and work that in at the very end. Alright, now we will move on to the next embellishments. So we're going to begin our embellishments with this little ear on the side of the head. So we'll start with another magic circle. Lay the yarn, cross your fingers, wrap it around, make an X and pinch. Go under, hook around, through, pinch that with the opposite hand. Okay, and we're going to be crocheting into these 2 strands. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then this will count as a stitch. We're going to crochet a total of 10. So we have 1, and now we're going to do 9 double crochets into the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoops, 8, and 9. So count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total, including that. Then we will pull it just a little bit tighter. We'll pull it all the way closed in just a second. You're going to slip stitch into the top there. Pull it nice and tight. Now you're done with round 1 of the ear. Okay, now you're ready for round 2 of the ear. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll turn this into a double crochet at the end by double crocheting into this little loop when we're wrapping things up. So we are not going to double crochet into that loop, we're going to double crochet into this one. Okay, not that one, this one. Wrap it around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. So we'll do two double crochets into every stitch. That's an increase in every stitch all the way around. I'll meet you here at the end. So I made it all the way around, and we're going to do a double crochet here to turn this loop into a double crochet. So wrap it around, go in, and then slip stitch. And you're done with one ear. Now you'll just repeat that for the second ear. Also, I like to pull this through, break the yarn. Sorry, I should have cut that with scissors, but break the yarn and leave a little bit of excess on there. We will use that to stitch it on at the end. Now that we have finished the 2 ears, we're going to be working on the eyes. So again, we're starting with a magic circle. Lay it across your hand, pinch that with your thumb, wrap it around, and pinch there. It'll be a little X. Turn your hand, go under with your hook, grab the yarn, pinch. Okay, we're going to be sewing into these 2 strands. Pull your working yarn over here. Okay, we're going to start by chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we chained 3, and now we're going to do 7 double crochets into the loop for a total of 8. So we're counting that as 1. Wrap it around, put it into the loop, circle, pull through, wrap it around, pull through 2, wrap it around, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So a total of 8, including the first chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, you're going to pull this little loop here. Start closing it up a bit. Okay, and then you're going to slip stitch into that first crochet right there. Pull through. That's the end of round 1. Now we're going to start round 2. We'll chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around. We'll be turning this chain into a double crochet at the end. Okay, so starting out, we're going to wrap it around, go into this first stitch right here. One and 2. Now we're going to do 2 double crochet into every stitch all the way around. So I will meet you back here. We'll have a total of 16. Okay, I've made it around. Now we're going to turn this into a double crochet by stitching right in here. We'll wrap it around, go down in there. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first crochet here. All right, and that's the end of round 2. So now what you're gonna do is just kind of flatten it out as you can. All right, now we're going to change colors. So we're gonna add some gold in here. So we will tie a knot. We're gonna slide it along that yellow. Bring that working yarn back there. And we're going to pick up that gold and pull it through. And then grab that yellow, pull that snug. All right, now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And now we're going to be working with single crochets. We're going to do an increase in every increase from the previous round. Okay, so an increase there, an increase there. So every other stitch, our first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. So going in right there. There's 1. And then the next one, we're going to increase with 2 single crochets in that stitch. Next stitch, 1 single crochet. The next one, 2. Oops. There we go. 2. 1, 2. So we're rotating 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around. I'll meet you over here. Made it to the end. So now we're gonna turn, we ended with a single crochet. We're gonna now turn our chain into a double crochet. Or not double crochet, 2 single crochets into that, so that works as an increase. So we will put the hook in right there, pull it through, wrap it around and pull it through. Made it all the way around. Now you're going to slip stitch into that first stitch. And that is what we're doing for one of the eyes. So now you're going to repeat that for the second eye. Leave some extra so that we can stitch it on, and also leave extra of the yellow so that we can use that as well if you'd like. We'll set that aside. Now we're going to do the eye. I decided to do it this way because I tried it another way and the eye just didn't look quite right. I'll show you how that was. You'll see here, it wasn't quite as round. So I mean, you can do this if you'd like, but I decided that I liked the look of a completely round eye. So the pupil at least. So that's why we're going to be doing this. So for the pupil, this one's pretty easy. You're gonna do another magic circle, lay that across your hand, wrap it around, X, pinch, crochet hook under, wrap it around and pull through, grab that. So we're going to be working into these 2 strands here, bring the working yarn over here. All right, so, let's see, where's that? Okay, so we're going to just chain 1, and then we're going to do 4 single crochets in addition to that chain into this loop. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now counting that first chain, that's a total of 5. We'll pull that loop so it's a little bit tighter. And working with black is always so hard to show you guys, so hopefully you can just kind of make it out on your own. You'll pull that nice and tight, and then just slip stitch into that first stitch. Let's see if I can show it to you on here. There we go. Just gonna kind of make that hole a little bit bigger so you can see it, maybe. Oh, Hopefully you can figure that out for yourselves. It doesn't really matter, it just needs to make it round. So however you do it to make it round is great. All right, cut that yarn. All right, pull that nice and tight. Okay, you're gonna do that twice to make the pupils. So next we're gonna add this little pupil onto the eye. So you're gonna take that little part from where you slip stitched and the needle through, and we're just gonna go right down through towards the center, if you can. All right, and I'm gonna go through towards the center of the eyeball. Now we're just going to go ahead and take that out. We're going to do the same now with this other one. This one, it's already on the back side, so we don't have to go through the center of the front. So we'll just put that down through the middle there. Whoop. Okay, so now whichever one's longer, which is the one that I currently am using, we're going to use that to stitch in and out. We want to keep it centered and we want to pull it nice and like tight against the eye. So from the back side you'll come up through and we want to do it quite a few stitches just to make sure that it is nice and stable. And just go through the front and back on both sides. Again, just making sure that it is centered as much as possible. Go ahead and pull it nice and tight. If you need to adjust it, you know, just take it out, start over. Okay, I'll do this last one right there. Maybe even gone around twice, but yeah, just want it nice and secure. Okay. Just tie off your loose ends, but leave a strand of gold and yellow if you'd like. Okay, now it's time to start stitching onto the hat. So first you're just going to decide where you want the eyes. The first time I made it, I had them like there, and ended up looking a bit like a fish, I think. And one of the tricks is, in general, like when it's flat, they look closer together than they're going to be when it's actually bent. Do you see that? When you actually have the hat on, they're going to seem farther apart. So for this hat in particular, I think they look better closer together. You can decide how high or low you want it, however you want to do it. This one I decided to go pretty low on it. If you go too high, people don't really see it because it's up towards the top of your head. So something I recommend is maybe like just loosely stitch it in and then go look in the mirror and see how it looks. Okay, but you're going to decide where you want it. Okay, so decide where it's going to be and then kind of keep an idea like, okay, it's at the bottom of this round. Okay, so that both eyes end up being pretty consistent. Okay, so there's the center, so I'm going to have it right there. So we're going to start with this eye. We'll do this eye after. First, I'm just going to use this yellow, and you can do this however you want to. If you've done my other tutorials, you probably already know how to stitch things on just fine, but I recommend just kind of doing a couple loose, just like a little loose stitch just right there, just to kind of keep it in place. And we'll probably even take this out That's just to hold it in place as we're doing more of this, the actual stitch in. But again, it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Okay. So I like to start on the inside of the eye, just to make sure that it's in the spot that we're wanting. Another thing, because we're doing stripes, you want to make sure that there's like kind of a straight line from top to bottom here, from like between there to there, because we're going to be drawing, not drawing, but we're going to be going across with some stitches. Just bring your hand from behind. If you can, just go up and down through like so, just all the way around. And you're going to want to like flatten it out again just to check and make sure that you're not letting it fold up on itself. But yeah, you'll just keep doing that and go all the way around the eye. And don't pull it too tight, because then it'll kind of pucker up the hat behind it. So keep going around. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I made it all the way around. My last stitch was going down in there. Now, I'm going to give you a word of advice. Resist the temptation to just like tie it off and cut it now. Wait until you have the other eye on there and you can tell for sure that it's all even and everything. You can go ahead and take that little stitch out, and if you want, you can follow up with going around in the yellow, but again I would wait to do that until you are absolutely certain that that's where you want the eye to be. Okay, so now we're going to add the second eye. Stitch around. Okay, as you get like part of it on, just twist, make sure that it's where it needs to be. Again, that we've got straight up and down right there. Okay, so I just finished going all the way around. So now if you'd like, you can do the same with the yellow. The center yellow, just to make sure that it's nice and secure, or you can move on to the next step. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, we're going to do the stripes now across the eyes. So bringing that yarn from behind where we ended, you're going to come up here from the inside corner of the eye, and we're going straight up. And these stripes are totally up to you, however you want to do it, or if you want to leave them off, that's fine too. I personally think they're pretty iconic, so, well, my husband was particularly, that was his set of advice, and I'm glad he gave it, because I agree, it looks much better. If you don't have enough gold left over from your strand, you're going to just need to use a fresh little bit. And but yeah, so we're trying to go fairly tight, but you don't want to go too tight. You don't want it to pucker. Back through the back side. You can do as many stripes as you'd like. There's no right way to go about this, so whatever you want to do. I'm just wrapping up, doing these stripes. I think that looks pretty darn good. So now you're just going to do the same thing, and you're going to stitch these ears in the center right here. And you guys already did this with the eye, so you should be able to get that stitched on just fine. Okay. So then from the back side, and this is what we're going to be doing with all of our ends, is going to just kind of stick the thread there, make a little knot, and then send it so it's behind, kind of between the two crochets. So between that and between this, you'll just kind of send it back there and snip it. So it'll just be there between the two and you won't see it on the inside. Okay. You'll do that with the other ear as well. And then it's time to just kind of tie in all your ends. So flip the whole thing inside out. And now you're going to do what we just did with all these loose ends. So this, I'm going to go ahead and work this black in behind these stitches here. That's that black that we left over. And you're just going to do the same with every other loose piece of yarn. Just tying in my last loose end. And you have your hat finished. So again, once it's actually on the head, it bends out a bit more and those eyes seem a little bit farther apart. So that is the end of the C-3PO tutorial. I would love to see your finished product if you want to send it to me on my Facebook page. Also, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please check out my other tutorials. I'll list them around here on the sides. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.